I've been taking notes and taking it all in and appreciative of all of you just staying because I know after lunch, the sound bath, all of the amazing conversations, we truly appreciate the continued engagement. So again, my name is Tameka Mitchell, and I am just a proud board member for PSI. I tell Chantel, wherever I go, PSI goes. And so coming January, I am still going to be leaning heavily on Miss Madam President Chantel Cargill, as I'll be currently president-elect, but in January, PSI's Georgia's president. So I'm excited. The team is phenomenal. Aren't they phenomenal? It is so, listen, it definitely takes a team, but let's just dive right into it. Welcome to our Fatherhood Matters, supporting mental health and presence. Let's give these dads a round of applause. Yes. Now, for many of you, we often talk about what moms go through and birthers, but what we're going to spend some time doing today is having a conversation normalizing postpartum mental health, not just for mothers, but also for fathers as well. So we'll also explore what it means to be a father, how men experience postpartum, and how their presence, literacy, as well as mental health intersects in an impactful way. So my intention as a moderator, again, is to just be very simple. Create a space where fathers, their voices are honored, where positive and impactful parenting is celebrated, and where partnerships are strengthened. So let's just give our fathers a round of applause as they join the stage, and I'll tell you a little bit more about them as they sit. And we have this information in your programs as well. So we have Marquis Baker. He is an educator, advocate, who is rooted in equity and mental health wellness, drawing from his lived experience to support mothers, students, and communities with empathy and care. Next, we have Domonic Brown, who is the founder of SeauxMississippi Candle Company. Domonic is an entrepreneur and founder of SeauxMississippi Candles. He is a devoted husband, a father who champions Black health, wellness, and generational healing, as well as advocacy of meaningful conversations. And then next, we have Myer Krah. Thank you for your service. He's a naval officer, a father of 5 amazing children, and also the founder of Here for the Dads podcast. He empowers fathers through conversations, resources, children's books, and advocating for fathers and strong families. And last but definitely not least, we have Chris White, Executive Director of Father Movement, Inc., and he's empowering families through parenting education, legal support, wellness programs, and has leadership championing families all across Georgia. So listen, I know I wanted to cover their bios because there's so much more, but are y'all ready to dive in? We're gonna do it? Okay. Now, let's get started. We have a big question, right? We'll start out with fatherhood carries many meanings depending on your background, values, and of course, lived experience. I would love for each of you to share, what does it mean to be a father?
So good afternoon again, everybody. My name is Marquis Baker. I'm here representing the Library Dads. For me personally, I have a 2-year-old at home, a son. For me, being a dad just means being a person. Physically, mentally, emotionally, really trying to pour into your child at every point so you can become that guy, that mentor, that person that they truly do need. Because every child is different. As you said, I'm in education, so you have to be willing to be present to learn your child so that way you can be the best dad, father, person for that child.
I have a 20-month-old at home, so I'm fairly recent father also. And one of the things that I would judge people about is I think I waited as long as I could to become a father. I know my parents were waiting on a grandchild, but I was out here living life and doing everything I wanted to do. So ideally for me, being a father means a life of commitment and service. I it's part of my natural personality to be of service, but now that I have a wife, this little baby girl, my wife probably gets tired of me asking, hey, what do you need? And but I try to make sure that, as Marquis said, that I can be of service to them. That means everything for me to be present, just make sure I can just be there and take care of myself so I can take care of them. So I really, service is a major factor in fatherhood.
Hey y'all. So first I want to say, as my grandmother would tell me in Psalms 127, said, "Fatherhood is a gift." And we all know when you give something to somebody, do something that's going to be precious, you got to take care of it. I got 5 kids. And I'll say that very first one, it didn't feel like a gift because I didn't know how to take care of it. I didn't know how to maintain it. I didn't realize that there was a lot of things in myself that I needed to fix first. And those children in my life became that. So not only is fatherhood a gift, but I would say fatherhood is an opportunity to grow as a person and to be the person that you really want.
Hello, so I'll give you a context. I'm a father of 4, and I'm not going to catch you because I went to care. So I have 2 children from class. Take care of these kids. I have 2 children from a previous marriage, and then I have one that I married into, and then I have one that we had together, and after that we separated. That's it. Right away. So yeah, I'm not gonna get it. But I think when I think of being a father, I heard somebody say, "Well, like what do you mean?" Because it is heavy, right? I think you are a protector, you're a provider, you are protecting that child's life, you're a guardian of the life, right? And so I think of when a child has like a really good dad, he's got a certain, his back's a little stiff, he's got a little confidence to him. It's subtle, but you can kind of pick up on it, you know. And it's a little different than that child is kind of, you know, putting on the airs or the front. So I think a dad really is the guardian of that light, is the only thing I would add to what you guys say. And when somebody puts that light out, you have to be there to, you know, hit that switch and turn that light back on.
Amazing, thank you. So Myer, I want to ask you a question. Your work has been powerful in supporting fathers and normalizing conversations around postpartum depression. How has leaning into those discussions shaped your community impact?
Absolutely. So first I want to start by telling you guys about the Daddy Stroller Social Club. So for the ones that have not heard it before, we got an Instagram, we got a Facebook. I want you to look that up. So I am the Atlanta chapter of the Daddy Stroller Social Club. And that's where it started. It started in Dallas about 4 years ago. There was a gentleman, his name was Kyle. And he was experiencing postpartum depression as well as his wife experiencing it at the same time. Now, he had no clue what it was, of course. I don't think dads could do that. And it was their first pregnancy, so he didn't even know what was going on with her. Thankfully, they got a chance to step into a health clinic. They got some help. They went through therapy together. And one thing he recognized that was going to be good for him was going to be community. Now, he's like, I got best friends. I call him, he lives all the way in North Carolina. We text all the time. He needed more than that. He was in Dallas, they were in North Carolina. What he needed was someone to stand right next to him and talk about the challenges, the triumphs, the sleep deprivation, the mood swings, all the conversations that he never truly got to say out loud. And quite honestly, I would say a lot of men, we think we have to keep it in. It's kind of a shame thing, and we kind of do it to ourselves. And it's not until we get into a circle where we start talking about more than just grills and beer and shoes, where we start opening up about those things. So I'll say the very first Daddy Show Social Club meeting that I went to, as the host, I get about 150 dads.
Wow.
It was a Tuesday on social media. Everybody thought it was cool. Now, if you look at my insights, it'll show that it's 80% moms who send it to the dad side.
I know that's right.
And now you got these big macho fathers walking around with our shoulders, still trying to look this part, like we got it all taken care of, that we know what's going on, and that we don't need no help. After you take, what I make them do is take a lap around the park, see is as they start to have that conversation going around that loop, you hear a lot of me too. Oh, for real, man, that's all you gotta do is just try it. Have you tried this with your wife? And by the time we get back around, the stiff shoulders start to let down a little bit. You start to see other fathers shake their hands, holding other people's babies, and you recognize that we all came in together not knowing what we needed to do, but the community portion of it is what allowed us to find out what to do. So as a father advocate, I don't put myself out there as a person who has all the answers, but what I'm trying to get the other fathers to recognize that when we do come together in a community, that's the best way for us to be more informed and more aware. And as that starts to happen, you recognize that you're not alone in these triumphs, and that you're not alone in a lot of these challenges. Being a father, protector, provider, the husband, you get a little bit more secure about your emotions. You are able to get the language to speak about what exactly you're feeling. And you get those extra points on how to take care of your life forever. Because that's the other thing that I did not know what to do. I was like, I care about my girl so much. And I'm finding myself in a place where I don't know how to support her. I'm finding myself in a place where I don't know what questions to ask. And it's frustrating. That was a part of leading into this angry area of my life where I was like, I don't know how to be this man that she wants me to be and what honestly I want to be. So I'll make this the last part of it. When I inform and aware other fathers, I go through the 3 A's. You gotta know how to ask questions. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. The next part is you have to be an advocate. You're in that hospital room, you're in that labor delivery room. If your wife tells you something, she knows she's talking. If they're not listening, you're gonna make them listen. Nothing's gonna stop us. And we're not moving to this next phase until you hear what my wife just told me. If I gotta say it in a different language, I'll look it up and we'll figure it out. Because I recognize my wife says something, she's saying it for a reason. And the last part is affirm her. Through the first pregnancy, she felt also like she wasn't doing a lot of stuff right. She was trying. As you all know, there's a lot of different challenges, and the challenges are different for everybody. It could be breastfeeding, the feeling of loneliness, people come and check on the baby but not checking on you, just different parts of it, right? So every once in a while, not just when things are going well, I had to slow down and stop and affirm my wife, you're doing a good job. You're doing the best that you can. That's all we can ask for. Not when things are going well, not when things are perfect, but if I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I know I was probably snoring and I look and I see my wife breastfeeding, I'll go back to sleep. But it's like I have to say it, I gotta touch it, and I want her to feel seen, because the last thing I want is for her to be in her own home and feel unheard and unseen.
Maya, I think you're on some. I heard some and yes, hands waving. I see you. All right, so Chris, I'm going to turn it over to you. Chris, your team is deeply involved in preparing fathers and families for this season of life. Can you share some of the ways that you prepare fathers for the postpartum journey? And feel free to add any specific examples.
Sure. So we work with maternal child health programs, Fulton, DeKalb, Clayton, a little bit of Webstar, we'll mess it up a little bit. But what we found is that relationship was an issue. The reality is, for many fathers, far too many fathers, their ability to parent, to be a father, is dependent on the mother. But sometimes there's some challenges there. And so that's what we see. So we said, well, let's give these folks an opportunity to be in a relationship. So we actually start on relationship, how to communicate, being aware of the stuff you bring into your relationship. Somebody said, they're raised by the mother, and the mom's like, who by yourself, right? A lot of families are like that. So it's like, all right, Dad, you did your job, we got to do you. Or Dad's like, I did my job, y'all got it. And so we try to really challenge that story that plays in people's heads throughout generations. So it starts with relationship. Then we go to something called Daddy Olympics, which I really like. Daddy Olympics is hit the care skills training. So we go to virtual classes, too, and then we go in person. And then we get them little baby dolls, and we put some peanut butter in the diapers. We say, let's change diapers, let's swaddle. This is what a safe sleep environment looks like. You know, we need to look at choking hazards, all that sort of thing, right? Because we get protected. We understand that. So we want to know how to do that. Because we don't always feel like we know what to do, right? So we do the Daddy Olympics class. We have fatherhood programs as well, just kind of general parenting stuff. Honestly, some of the stuff you were talking about, without strollers and walkers. So we do that. Many of it is virtual. And then we also will connect them. As I said, we do it in partnership, right? So we'll connect them with nurses, midwives, things like that. So they'll talk about how do you advocate for baby, how, you know, even after delivery, right?
Yes.
Because when dads are involved, there's more doctor's visits. There's an uptake in taking prenatal vitamins as well. If dad and mom have a good relationship, there's less stress on mom. I was looking at those stats that was presented. So dads make a huge difference right away. Even from the time of conception. I know that you're protecting baby even now, right? Because mom, I don't know about you guys, but I had varying experiences in pregnancies. The first couple wasn't that bad, but also it's kind of bad. That's another story. The last one was not so bad for my wife, I would say, but really difficult for me. She wore me out. I would park. Normally I park my car and I get out and hey, have fun. During her pregnancy, I would park and I just sit there. Just because it was tough, right? So we need that support. We need to know where to go. We need to know how to navigate this, and we need to protect mom because we're not. I tell that like you're not talking to the same person, literally, right? She's now two. She's a different being, and so you need to treat her as such. So the thing you probably had to settle before, you had to argue it out. We need to let that go. That can wait 9 months, right? Because you need to make sure that womb is peaceful. And I've seen that even my first child, peaceful womb. Second child, stressful. We were going through it, and baby was very fussy, very difficult, right? And overactive delivery, right? And I saw that, so I see this in my own children, right? And it's kind of sad when I think about it. We got to push forward. We got to keep going and make the best of things. So dad has to do the job right away. And I know you asked me about postpartum, but it starts even back then, right? Aside from that, we do a lot of activities and events for dads, just the community. We got to have community. Another thing that we're starting up. Oh no, I want to skip that and go to my question. How much time do I have? Because you asked me for in the question. You asked me for like an example, and I want to give you a quick story.
Go listen. If the spirit move you, let's do it.
Okay. Good. All right. So I think this is kind of something what we do. So we had a family, and I'm not going to say his real name. We'll call him Myer. So Myer comes in to our program with mom. They're together. They go through lasting relationships, our relationship program. They go through Daddy Olympics. Myer's first place. Do skill. This is his first child, but he's just nice with it. I think he was like the oldest son. They take care of the little ones. Yeah. So he's really good. Myers are good, taking care of babies clearly. And unfortunately, they're going through some relationship issues. And in addition to our last relationship class, we also do couples coaching, right? Because this is a process. It's not like you go through 6 weeks and you're good. That's not how relationships work.
No, sure don't.
So we give ongoing support, and that's important because with these families, they're kind of like light switches, on, off, right? And it's like, okay, but they're still living together, yet they're not together. What is that, right? So in my mind, y'all still together, okay? So they were going through an issue, and it was about to be a blow up because he wanted to take baby to a cabin with his extended family.
Hey, with young reader and I really set me our article.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I was getting ready to move. Right. So to wrap this up, right? So they're about to have this blow up, right? And that's where we're there. We're there to be that safety net and say, let's talk through this. Okay, what are your concerns? Why is that important to you? Let's go a little deeper. You know, mom, what are your concerns? Mom just had a baby. She's really not trusting anybody with a baby, right? And so she couldn't go to the cabin, so she didn't trust it. We walked through this. Mom said, you know, all right, here we go. Crisis averted. They're in a good place, and now they're even working towards reconciling and getting back in a relationship. So that's kind of what we do with our families. And And that's the
Nice.
way we help folks see, because we want these babies raised together, right? That's really an issue that we have, is that we're raising babies in two different households, limited resources, limited time and attention. It's really hard for us. That's what we do.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. So, Marquis, we're going to come over to you. Literacy is such an important part of my own platform because I know I love the rock star readers. Where's the baby at? Oh, she's right. Yes. You know, I love the rock star readers. And I know you believe in the power of reading at home as well. So, why do you see promoting literacy in the home as an essential social emotional learning and bonding?
First off, I want to thank my two brothers on here for establishing this community, specifically around postpartum and language. As a man that grew up without a father, a single mother, my mother has passed on doing this parenting journey kind of by myself. Y'all mean the world to me, so shout out to you. So addressing the questions about literacy and just specifically social and emotional learning and bonding, these are all things that start at home or should. We talked about values and beliefs at the beginning of the segment. Again, these things should be cemented at home so you can take them out into the world again and be that better student, a better young person. For me personally, and one thing that we do promote within the library desk is this idea of bonding with your child through reading. Reading has to be one of the easier activities that you all could dive into. So spending that legitimate and conscious time with your child to read, we have an 80-20 rule, right? We believe that only 20% of reading is involved in the text. The other 80% comes in the way you read, how you turn those pages, how you're engaging with your child, what books you are choosing to read to them. So it becomes definitely important for the literacy piece, but when we talk about the social and emotional learning, like I said, we start speaking about the text that you are pouring into your child, the conversation that you do get to have. And this is with me as a 2-year-old. My child is shocking me right now with the way in which he knows these books and is able to finish pages. And so again, the real work comes in the bonding and how you are spending time with one another.
Thank you so much. All right, and Dom, I have a question for you. So you're a new father of, you said, a 20-month-old daughter and a business owner. That's a lot to balance. What's your feeling word for today?
I think that the key word, if you can achieve, is balance.
Balance.
And I have a wife that helps me with that greatly. She's the best tag team partner I could find, I think. But in that, with owning a business, having a family, always striving for that balance, I found that we build structures for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is a very analytical person. She's a very scheduled person. And here I go, just so I always tell people one thing we're good at is allowing each other to do what we're good at. Just for example, and this is just me doing our random thing. It's kind of like if she's better at finances, let her do the finances. If I'm better to cook, hey, let me cook. That doesn't mean that both of us don't cook or both of us don't do certain things, but allowing us to lean on each other's strengths and prop each other up in our weaknesses. And I think that's a very dynamic thing that I've learned on this journey, even from our daily schedule, because it is. I always tell people, I'm 80 baby 90 kid, say like that. Time, there's never enough time. That's the way it can feel when you're balancing everything. And so we just build structure for ourselves, and it's not even just concerning our daughter, even though she pretty much runs our lives, everything revolves around her, but we never forget about each other. I want her to still hang with her friends. I still want her to go to the Usher concert if she wants to. She allows me that same benefit. The things I love to do. I've gotten into camping. She's allowing me to go camping with some of my friends next month. We're going to be gone the whole weekend. She's going to be her and the baby. So once again, I try to allow her that same space for us. And it wasn't always easy because we're both first-time parents.
Mm-hmm.
This is on-the-job training. There's no rule book. And each household is different, so we have to, I always tell people, do what works for you in your household. Yes, we need each other for advice. These two are here that have 4 and 5 children, and I'm over here just listening with one. So it's just amazing to hear everybody's story, how they, come to their own way of doing things while also forming a community and being a resource as well. I know I've made some friends. I'm gonna keep in touch with all of these fellas because everybody up here has some phenomenal things going on. I'm sure I have a lot of questions as a new dad that you guys are probably like, that's now. So just being able to lean each other, and I'm also a village person when it comes to running a business and being a father, being a husband. One thing I have found out is that your village is everything.
Yes.
From our godparents who help us tremendously. They come and babysit. They come and read to the baby. They come and just, hey, we're gonna take care of y'all. Figure out what y'all want to do. And I know once again, even villages are different, but as I'm a country boy, I'm from Mississippi. So I did come from that lineage of, man, if you get in trouble at school, everybody along the way, like, well, I'm gonna get you, they're gonna get you, So just surrounding my daughter in that same type of atmosphere to where she knows that we got her back. We as a village.
Yes.
So she knows that everywhere she turns, she has that support, not only from mom and dad, but the village as a whole. And I feel like you guys are saying, that's the difference between a kid having their head down and having the confidence to poke their chest out a little bit and know who they are, know where they come from, and know what's been put inside of them. So just overall, I do it with a lot of help from the village, which provides us the leeway to have balance in taking care of our child, and as well as having a very balanced household to take care of them.
Amazing. Yes, of course.
Thank you for that, Dom. So, educated a little tidbit. I had a friend, one of my moms that was actually, we were having a conversation about wives and this idea of balance, which made me want to say this. He brought up to me, Marquis, a relationship is a teaching and learning process. We think that because we have been with our partners for however long that we know them. And also, to that same degree, your partner might think they've given a lot of you, right? Just because you spend so much time. My wife and I had this running joke that we got until we 36 to figure this thing out. Because I know genuinely I have to allow you that 18 years that you were without me to come out, right? I remember I went for 18. So it's levels to you wanting to learn your wife or your partner, but your wife has to be able to teach you those things that might be bottled up, might be unconsciously forgotten. And then it's a teaching and learning process to create that balance so we can be better. So just throwing that out there, when he told me that, it was like, bing, I said, oh no, because I do think I know my wife. I constantly get reminded that I'm learning, and she still to this day. So again, just throwing that out there, this idea of teaching and learning in the process.
Amazing. So thank you, Myer, Chris, Marquis, and Dom for your honesty, your presence, and the impact that you're making, not only amongst just the camaraderie that you've built so far, but for your families, for the communities. We really appreciate you. And honestly, I have so many nuggets taken away from the that we have from Myer, or the he got me messed up, but we're going to work this thing out from Chris. And then also literacy, how we read to our children. Again, it's that bonding piece, but we're planting the seeds around education. And Dom, for your honesty about it's a true village and how we work as partners and communicate and still try to live this authentic life that we're all focused on. So I am grateful for you allowing me to be a part of your space. And this is going to be one of many conversations because together we thrive.